Thanks very much to RIU down here in Fremantle, a place I love. So we'll talk about FireFly and what we're up to. There's probably a couple of real key takeaways in the presentation today, and one of those is scale. And so when you look at what we picked up 2 years ago, and it was only 2 years ago, literally almost to the day, that we found this project. We've grown it to 80 million tonnes at a fairly impressive 2.2% copper equivalent. And when I say copper equivalent in this presentation, I'm meaning copper with a gold credit. So don't think zinc and lead and other weird and wonderful things. This is a copper ore body with a gold credit to it. Not only has it got scale that's growing, but it's also got grade to it as well. And so you'll see that not just the 2.2% copper equivalent that we've got, which is really good grade out there and some of the highest grade you'll see in copper mines around the world, but we have a very, very high grade core zone that's almost 20 million tonnes going at a bit over or close to 4% copper equivalent. Now we are continuing to grow this. We're infilling, we're growing it, and I'll show you a couple of slides on that shortly, so you'll see it growing much larger than that 80 million tonnes over the next little while as well. But a couple of the other real key value drivers for us is getting out in the regional tenements, seeing what else we have there, seeing if we've got another 20, 40, 80 million tonnes or so sitting there to truck into where the mine will be built, and obviously de-risking with the mining studies that's happening this year as well, and I'll talk about that shortly. So the normal disclaimers, everything is on the ASX platform. And so we will be talking just about Green Bay today. However, I'll talk very quickly about Pickle Crow. It's almost 3 million ounces of gold, a fairly impressive nearly 7 grams per tonne. Up in Ontario, we've just recently sold that to a company called Bella Vista Resources, BVR, down here on the ASX platform. And the amazing thing about that is not only will FireFly continue to maintain around about a 10% shareholding in that and the upside on that, but what we're doing is going to be giving all of our FireFly shareholders free shares in species distribution of that stock to them into Bella Vista. So if you hold FireFly on the record date, you will get a free share in Bella Vista as well and get upside to that. And I can assure you at around about 120 million enterprise value that they'll be trading at for that size, resource and grade, and led by two of the titans in the mining industry with Gled Jardine and Peter Canterbury, who took De Grey to a $6 billion takeover with Northern Star and $35 million in cash in their bank. We think that there's a lot further to go on that, so make sure you're on board for that one. So a quick snapshot of FireFly. We are very much institutionally owned globally. We have big institutions backing us. We have good volume traded daily. We are listed on the ASX and TSX platforms, and we recently became ASX 300 as well. Good research down here in Perth, as well as globally as well. And probably really importantly, there's $250 million in cash sitting there in the bank, which we will be deploying this year to create value and create growth and create shareholder wealth. Importantly, we have no offtake, there's no debt, there's no streaming, there's a tiny royalty on this project. So very, very vanilla for us. So as I said, it's a copper and gold ore body, a VMS mineralised system. It's got a very high-grade zone to it called massive sulphide zone. It's typically about 10 metres in thickness, true thickness, and going at sort of 5, 6, 7% copper with a gold credit to it of several grams per tonne. And then a second zone that sits directly below it, and this is typically wider, so you're talking sort of 30, 40, 50 metres, and in places it gets up to about 100 metres in true thickness as well. And this is going around about 2% copper with only a small amount of gold in it, but still a gold credit in there as well. But what was really exciting in around about September of last year, and this is what we're drilling on at the moment, is where these two zones come together, and it's almost 1 kilometre in strike length now, this conjoined zone, and this has both got true widths that are very wide as well as really high grades as well. So you're getting best of both worlds there with thickness and grade, and you can see some of those intersections of sort of 30, 40, 50 metres wide, sort of 3, 4, 5, 7% copper, and in places more than that as well. So there's really there's three main value drivers we see this year for creating value for our shareholders and for all stakeholders, in fact, at the Green Bay and in 2026. And the first of that is really about creating value around the head frame. So what we like to say is the low-hanging fruit. So typical resource growth, what we've been doing month in, month out, year in, year out since we acquired the project. You're going to continue to see it growing. We're also de-risking by converting inferred resources into M&I category resources, so higher confidence level ready for the study work, and also drilling around that head frame and seeing if there's a parallel lode or a lode sitting below it, things that are close to the existing infrastructure. And as I said, we have had success with the drill bit. When we have money, we put it into drill rigs and we turn those, and we currently have 6 drill rigs operating underground. As I said, you will continue to see this resource growing. It's currently 80 million tonnes, so it's already pretty big. But importantly, almost 50 million tonnes in the M&I category that we've grown in the last 2 years. And it grows in both copper and gold, so we're fortunate with that. And when you look at it in long section, and so here you go, you can see the portal at the top of the mine there, the surface, the underground development marked up in black there, and the ore body strikes for about 3 kilometres, and it starts from about 200 metres below surface, and we drilled it down to about 1.5 kilometres. You can see the grade here marked up on the left-hand side. So anything that's sort of yellow and oranges is around that sort of 2.5% category, and then when you move into the pinks and the reds, you're talking sort of 3, 4, 5, 6%, and you can see there's this very, very high grade consistent core that trends for about 1 kilometre now, which is really, really important for us. And what is amazing is the deepest hole we've ever drilled, and the most recent hole that we've ever drilled, right at the bottom of the ore body, is the best intersection we've ever had to date. So it's almost 50 metres, going at 6% copper with a really high-grade internal core of almost 14% copper and gold. And we know that this will probably carry on because there's a downhole electromagnetic conductor which carries on off-hole as well. So a really good, bodes really well for further resource growth. So it's very simple. Again, looking at it in long section here at the actual main mine, you can see the underground development marked up in black. The drilling that we're doing from the underground drill platforms, about 1 kilometre underground. As I said, the ore body starts at about 250 metres or so below surface, and we're drilling it down deeper than that. This is showing us measured and indicated category in yellow, and green is showing the inferred category. So that's what we're doing. We're converting that really high-grade inferred category into yellow M&I category. And of course, this will be really important for that study work that'll be coming out in the middle of the year. But what we've done, we've only ever stepped down plunge. That's all we've done on this ore body. And when you have ore bodies of this sort of size and scale, it's really important to look for parallel lodes and look for lodes that might be sitting below it and feeder zones and VMS systems. So that's what we're going to be doing with part of this funds. Those 6 drill rigs are turning, doing that conversion and step out, but we're also going to be doing discovery drilling around the head frame. So seeing if we've got another parallel lode or high-grade feeder zone sitting there. So it's not just about following it down plunge. And so probably the second real value add for us this year as well is demonstrating that this will be a mine. We're already one step ahead there with it obviously was a mine for 20 years, for 2 decades, and now we're talking about upscaling it to a much larger operation. So we are fully permitted for a 1.8 million tonne per annum operation with tailings and the likes as well. But when you look at 80 million tonnes at the moment, and you sort of work 1.8 million tonnes into 80 million tonnes, you're talking about a 45-year mine life. So what we're trying to do now is see ways for us to be able to upscale with the current permitting that we have, and see if we can get something that's much larger than what we are talking about at the moment. And we're one step ahead. We have a huge head start when it comes to infrastructure, being an ex-mine that only closed down a couple of years ago. We have hydroelectric power going at about 6 cents a kilowatt hour, so super cheap power, and abundance of it where we are in Newfoundland, Labrador. A port facility only 5 kilometres away from us, taking 1 million tonnes of concentrate in and out that we can do. A workforce only 10 kilometres away from 2 towns that come in with skilled labour there as well. And obviously the underground portal and shaft and the likes as well. So a huge step ahead of most projects. So as I said, we are fully permitted. The Newfoundland Labrador government is a mining jurisdiction. They get 32% of their GDP comes from mining, which is the same as South Australia. So think about that for a moment. Fully permitted in 45 days. And so for us now, demonstrating that 1.8 million tonne per annum project, we'll be putting that into study work in the middle of the year, but demonstrating as well that this will be a larger, longer life mine life. And of course, we are using all of the normal large-scale consultants and experts who've done this before in Canada. And our third real value driver for this year is creating value with the drill rigs is the key focus for us, like I've said before. Stepping out in some of these regional targets, seeing if this district turns into something much larger than what we have currently. And you've got to remember, we've only ever been focused around that head frame and extending the ore body down plunge. So not only extending the ore body down plunge, but looking for parallel loads around that infrastructure and head frame, but now getting out into the ground regionally and seeing what we've got. And remembering that VMS mineralised systems, they normally come in clusters. There's a whole bunch of old workings scattered across this district. We own it 100%. We're the main players there. We have 3 drill rigs turning. So watch this space. I'll be hoping to update the market over the coming weeks and months with how we're going on some of these regional targets. So almost at the end, and probably it's quite nice just to sort of reflect on the size and scale of the ore body, like I said at the start. So what we've got here is some well-known copper base metal mines that are around the world, both on the ASX and TSX platforms. And what we're doing is we're looking at just copper. So we've taken out, zinc and things like that and gold out of it. And when you look at, where greenbay sits, it is a very sizable copper ore body already, with 1.4 million tonnes of actual copper there, with a large portion in the M&I category, which we'll be demonstrating will be a mine. It wasn't. It was just recently that you just saw Foran with McKenna Bay being taken over for $4 billion with a project that's only a fraction the size of ours, but probably only 6 to 12 months ahead of us in timing wise into development and production. So it is a real large scale ore body. And when you start to think, when the type of production that we can do, and we are fully permitted for a 1.8 million tonne per annum operation, as I said, but when you compare us to what other mines are doing out there, and when you think, if you're looking purely at the copper side of things and take out the gold or take out the zinc or take out the lead of other projects, you can sort of see that our project will certainly be on the right hand side of known copper producers out there on the ASX and TSX platform. And if you think upscaled project, then it certainly will be, without a doubt, on that right hand side of the page. And we're looking forward to demonstrating that this year with the study work that will be coming out around the middle of the year, and again towards the end of this year as we move into FID. So lots going on. We're in a really strong position there, fully permitted, ready to go, drill rigs turning. There's currently 9 on site. You'll probably see that upgrading as well on the regional side of things with any success that we might have. $250 million in the bank, very, very vanilla, with no debt, no streaming, no royalty, no nothing else. And watch the space on Pickle Crow. We're over the moon to have dealt on that. We think that Bella Vista and Glenn and Peter will be creating a lot of value for that. So as shareholders and our shareholders in the company of FireFly, we're looking forward to them hopefully making money on that as well. So watch the space. Plenty of news flow. We've got plenty of geologists and people over at the booth. So come on over and have a chat. Thanks.